The worst thing possible just happened to YNW Melly, as in today's court hearing, the judge began it by announcing that Melly will be tried with YNW Bortlen in the September trial.
Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial September the 10th at 9 o'clock with Mr. Demmons, pending whatever future motion that I may hear. I'm in another capital case right now. I have 4 hearing dates left available between now and September the 10th. I gave the parties those 4 dates, and I'm holding all of those dates and times open only for these 2 defendants. So anything that you need me for, okay? Yes, sir.
As the news wrote, at the beginning of Wednesday's hearing, Judge Martin Fein, to Bortlen's attorney, said, quote, "So Mr. Haddad, for the time being, Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial on September 10th with YNW Melly. This could not be worse for Melly, and let me explain. The prosecutors are gonna force Bortlen to snitch. The news already wrote, a no communication order has been filed in the YNW Melly trial. The order makes Melly and Bortlen completely separate. No talking, no lawyer talk, just silence, as the prosecutors are forcing Bortlen to snitch by trying Melly and him together in the trial."
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It's just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other. But that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
If Bortlen knows that he didn't commit this serious crime, he won't physically be able to just sit there and take life in prison to the chin. This makes it very likely he'll then point the finger against Melly, just like Melly did against Bortlen in the first trial. Now, what you didn't know is that Melly's lawyers already tried pinning this entire crime on YNW Bortlen. It's why you haven't heard a word from Bortlen since the original trial.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with 2 bodies, a car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
As YNW Bortlen feels extremely betrayed by his former best friend, as Melly's own lawyer revealed that Bortlen was the one that was lying to the feds, he was the one with powder residue on his hands, and he was the last one with Juvie and Sack Chaser when they passed away. They even went as far as to bringing a forensic scientist to the stand who covered the passings to go into further detail about YNW Bortlen having the powder residue.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of powder residue and 2 component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of powder residue and 1 component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was powder residue present on the hands.
YNW Bortlen did not like this at all, and here's why. When YNW Melly's mistrial was granted, a report shared, YNW Bortlen tweets a mysterious message on the same day Melly's mistrial was declared. This was the last tweet that he has made, and the tweet shares, "Mind games don't work on people like me," alongside a handshake emoji as if he's accepting some sort of deal. But what makes it even more concerning is that YNW Bortlen has every reason to snitch against Melly, all because of what was found inside of his home.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with the witness.
As it was then announced by Bryson Ball, here are the images of alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortlen's home last week as filed into the Broward clerks, as there is photos of Bortlen drawing out details of where certain jurors were sitting in the YNW Melly trial. He even gave a description of what they looked like. As before Melly's lawyers started throwing incriminating evidence towards Bortlen, it started to look like Bortlen was getting ready to slide for Melly if these jurors found him guilty.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
When this was all shared inside of court, it made Melly get very angry, visibly yelling at his lawyers. As the news wrote, today's hearing marks the first time YNW Melly publicly went against his legal team's advisement in open court, as Melly was seen yelling at his lawyers.
Yes, sir.
Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You objected to their request for me to determine this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us, yes, sir.
As the evidence that they are arguing about is about YNW Melly's street team association. There's one piece of evidence the feds want to use against Melly. It's this Facebook post of Melly with Young Thug. They're trying to say that Melly is a part of the red street team, just like Young Thug is, to make him look worse in front of a jury.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him. And he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Demons has the big B hand signs displayed.
Okay, and see with individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
Melly was then seen yelling at his lawyers. People inside of the courtroom overheard it and claimed that Melly said, in quote, "I don't care, I'm not in no gang, they can't prove that."
I'm aware that 924-071 call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the further of the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
Now, there's one main reason that YNW Melly does not care if this evidence is included. If Melly's lawyers get that evidence thrown out, the paperwork that comes alongside that will end up making the trial begin in 2027. That means that YNW Melly will have been sitting in jail for 8 to 9 years before ever being convicted.
I do find this case to be under the most compelling circumstances. Mr. Demons, as I sit here today, has been in custody for 2,339 days. Besides Mr. Demons' cases, which I've removed, this division currently has 38 other cases, special set for trial. 22 of those are murder cases. Numerous of those are death cases. And right now, this division has trial special set in December of 2026.
However, the state, they really want the trial delayed once again. They want to bring in so much new evidence against Melly to ensure that he gets sentenced to life inside of prison.
And finally, Judge, just so, again, the record's clear, what this, given Judge Murphy's order, and there would be an intent to comply with it, what the court is compelling the state to do is to go forward with evidence that has been suppressed. In other words, we would not be able to use that evidence.
You can't.
Right.
It's suppressed. That's exactly correct.
As of now, the attorneys could go to the appellant court and request that they issue a stay or place a hold on the trial, and that seems to be the only way that this trial does not move forward on the scheduled date. So if that doesn't happen, Melly trial number 2 will begin in about 2 months.
With the entire courtroom beginning to go into a frenzy, YNW Melly's mother, Jamie King, would then hop on IG Live outside of the courthouse and give an update on when the trial will begin.
Basically what happened today is the judge has said we are not delaying trial. We will be going to trial September 10th, even though there's things that's up with the 4th DCA that has been ruled to be suppressed and not able to be used in the upcoming trial. The judge is just upholding those orders. So therefore, all of the, basically what was up on appeal was all of that stuff, what they were using as an enhancer in order to get the penalty qualified. The judge ordered all of that to be suppressed. So moving forward onto the new trial, the state will not be able to bring in that evidence.
As at the end of the hearing, YNW Melly's lawyers did ask the judge for a bond release until September, but sadly the news wrote, YNW Melly's reaction after not receiving a bond in his double M case, he's been in jail for 2,320 days without a guilty verdict. As while he was denied his bond, he did have a huge win inside of court, which could result in YNW Melly being released on a bond on one specific date. To understand when, it's important to know that an FBI agent took the stand. This FBI agent specializes in cell phone data research. As a report shares, YNW Melly's lawyers questions FBI agent that did an analysis on Melly's phone at the time of the crime.
Based on the information, you can't really tell the court precisely which locations these phones are following, can you?
No, and one of the limitations of cellular analysis is that you can only say a general area where the device would be at a given time.
All right, so even with the general analysis, all of the stuff that we've gone through for about 4 or 5 hours, at the end of the day, you can never give an exact location.
True.
And could you tell if somebody was walking around a car with the phone? Would you be able to tell that?
No.
So it'd be your testimony that this phone, 9807, could be from here to here, correct?
Yes.
While he shared important information, it wasn't until the next topic of conversation where things got interesting. A DNA specialist took the stand. His job was to go over DNA research on items that were found at the crime scene, including items that may have been used in the crime. This was Melly's biggest win so far. The report reads, DNA analyst confirms Melly's DNA was not found on multiple items that were recovered at the crime scene.
So going to item number 22. The swab from the Gucci sandals. We're able to compare the profile from Mr. Devins as opposed to the profile developed from those sandals.
I did, and he was excluded.
The stain on the front of the t-shirt, item number 23. We're able to compare Mr. Devins' profile to that.
I did a comparison, and he was again excluded.
What about item number 24, the cutting of the stain of the rear of the t-shirt?
After comparisons were done, he was excluded.
Okay, then on item number 25, the swab of stain from the Air Jordans.
Again, an exclusion.
Going on to item number 26, the swab from the yellow jacket.
An exclusion as well.
And in terms of the item number 27 and 28, the swabs at the Gatorade bottles. What were the results on that?
Those were both exclusions.
However, YNW Melly's DNA was found on a car door handle, which is obvious as we watched him get into the car. As with Melly being seen getting into the car, there was questions about rapper Fredo Bang's involvement. Now, the feds claim they have proof that YNW Melly was picked up by Fredo Bang when the crime went down, and then he was dropped off at a nearby house.
And Chris Thomas are. So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin, digital homing beacon to his current location, to one of his friends, Frederick Givens. Frederick Givens is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up Frederick Gibbons, then about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin where Mr. Demons has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone calls.
But there's one man who can truly answer on why Fredo Bang picked up YNW Melly, and that is YNW Bortlen. But having YNW Bortlen beside Melly in the upcoming trial will also answer one very important question, which is what is the context of what happened 5 hours after the crime occurred? It was announced the prosecutors updated the evidence against Melly. He didn't know that he was being filmed admitting to the passing of Sack Chaser and Juvie, where only 5 hours after the crime was done, Melly was seen dancing in a parking lot with YNW Bortlen being filmed without knowledge of it.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned. Regardless of what happened, you already know.
Showing not even an ounce of sadness for the passing of their two best friends, but without his knowledge, he would then be filmed once again. This was 30 minutes before the crime went down, where Melly was seen exiting the studio. You could watch him walk into the back left seat of the Jeep and then sit there waiting for Sack Chaser, Juvie, and Bortlen to get in.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes? All right.
Now, the official court document reads, the direction of bullets traveling from left to right in the car supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat. This is where YNW Melly was positioned, as they ended up bringing Juvie's mother to go to the stand and confirm that he was sitting there.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
But did you know Melly's likelihood of being found guilty in his trial in September increased by 95%? It is so disturbing that many believe the Florida court system is corrupt. I want you to meet Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah Hamilton. Mariah has been hiding out of the United States since before Melly's original trial. She was supposed to testify against him, but she never showed up. She randomly left the United States only weeks before the trial began, and she has never returned since.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demons' first trial in 2023.
She ended up going to jail. She arrived to the airport and she was immediately arrested as she wanted to go visit family that she hasn't seen in years. When she arrived to jail, she was having an extremely hard time, which is why when she had her first court hearing, the judge made her a deal. If you agree to testify against Melly and tell the truth, you're free to go home. She was out of the courtroom within 25 minutes. She would then get into her vehicle with her parents, immediately go on Facebook and write, "To my village, thank you to my village. I love you all so much. God's plan, not mine." Why this is so bad for YNW Melly is on Mariah's iCloud account, they have evidence of Melly forcing her to not testify in the trial. This is known as witness tampering, and this carries a life sentence in prison regardless if Melly is found guilty of Sack Chaser and Juvie's passing.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The witness tampering case would also be separate from his existing case of juvie and sack chasers passing. However, because YNW Melly was using the jail phones to call Mariah telling her to leave the United States, Melly hasn't been allowed to use a phone in jail for several months. It got so bad, Melly's mom, Jamie King, even did an interview exposing the county jail for not allowing Melly to use a phone or even look at his own mail.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
But if the evidence is true that Melly was using the jail phones to commit witness tampering, then that's why they haven't allowed him. It's very concerning because they definitely have the evidence stored until trial begins, as they wouldn't just keep him off of the jail phones if it was a hunch. That would result in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. But if you're a fan of Melly's music, leave a like on the video and comment down below whether or not he's guilty.